Hey everyone, this is Regex discussion 4, problem 3. This problem asks that for each string that we have here in as the columns, and then for each pattern here in the rows, um, identify the start and end position. So this is inclusive of the first match of that pattern in the string. So just really quickly to take a look at our first pattern, we have A, B, C star. So we know from earlier, but let's remind ourselves again, the star in regex means that you match the character or pattern that came before 0 or more times. So that means that just the C, which is the only character, like the pattern that came immediately before the star, can be matched 0 or more times. So we might have AB or ABC for a few times, and that is what the pattern will be able to match. So we take a look here in our first string, and the beginning and end patterns are 0 through 2 because we can match A, B, and C once, and the star allows for that once. So similarly, in this second example, we have A, B, and C again. So we'll just put down 0 through 2 because those first three characters are exactly the same. Now in this problem, at the beginning we have only A and B, we don't have any C, but this isn't actually a problem because remember the star accounts for 0 or more times. So that means that our pattern matches this example, even though a C is not present, because the C is basically optional under the star. So this time our interval is positions 0 through 1. Notice that we do have another match in this string, but the problem asks us to specify the start and end position of the first match. So yeah. Now for the last question, similarly, we have A, B, and C matching our pattern because all our characters are taken literally. So the answer is once again 0, 2. All right, moving on to the next pattern. So for this pattern, let's take a look at it. We recognize from problem 2 in this worksheet that when we have a pattern with a group being identified, like a group of characters that we might be able to match, but then a caret at the very beginning, that means we'll match any characters that are not in this group. But, and then what does the /s symbolize? Well, apparently /s matches any white space character, including tabs and new lines. In our examples, we don't have any new lines, but that means any white space will be matched by, by our pattern. And finally, we have a plus at the end. And a plus means that this character might be repeated 1 or more times. So again, to review, our caret means that we will be matching anything that isn't a white space character 1 or more times. Okay, so let's take a look. For the first part, we have no white space characters being matched 1 or more times. So that means that the entire string matches this pattern. So we have position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Similarly, for our next pattern, there are no white space characters and everything and being repeated one or more times. So now we have positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0 through 5, or sorry, I know how to index. Position 0 through 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then now we do have a white space character in here. So that means we can't match the entire string because we're trying to match all characters that aren't white space characters, but we can't match this one. So the pattern does not include the entire thing. So the first match we see is just these two. And now finally, we again do have a white space character here. And these like underscores are spaces, by the way. So here we notice that our first 4 characters, in fact, are non-white space characters. So we will take position 0 through 3. All right, so that is that pattern. Now let's take a look at AB dot star C. So once again, A and B are taken literally. Those must be present in our pattern. C must also be present in our pattern. But this dot star in the middle does some interesting things. This says that we can have any and all combinations of characters in between our AB and our C. They may be, the dot, remember, represents any character, and the star represents the character repeating 0 or more times. So let's take a look. Okay, so ABC is the first match that we see because we can have characters dividing them 0 or more times. So in this case, we have the characters dividing 0 times. We also notice that there are no other matches for this pattern in the string because there is no C at the end or something. The dot star could match a lot of these characters, including the C, but because there is no C at the end, regex will simply say this doesn't perfectly match our pattern. Similarly, in this string, we will match the first 3 because there doesn't need to be something in between the AB and the C. But in here, the first match for, well, we have 2, right? We have this large one where these 3 characters are captured by our dot star. But then we also have this one because our AB and our C are not separated in this group. So which one do we consider our first match? Well, the one that started first, that we encountered reading from the left first. So in fact, this pattern matches the entire string as our first match. So we go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now finally, we have our last string, but in here we see only ABC that matches for sure because there is, again, no C at the end. So our pattern cannot match any other string segments. So we will take just 0 through 2. All right, now let's take a look at our last pattern. So in this pattern, we have another one of these matching sets where we can divide it into different sections, all of which can represent the types of characters that can be matched. So first is A through Z. Remember that dashes can be used in matching sets to describe a range of characters. So that means we can match any letters A through Z. We can match the number 1. We can also match a comma because 1, 9 doesn't actually represent a range from 1 to 9. It represents just the literal 1, the literal comma, or the literal 9. So yeah, so we can match either 1 or 9 or a comma. And yeah, you can think of these matching sets as basically saying if a character matches any of these, either one or the other or the next and so on, then it will be matched by the pattern. And finally, we have a plus sign, which means that we must match a set of characters that appear in this group and we can match this type of character one or more times. So for our first string, we notice that all of these are letters that fall between A and Z. So that means that our entire first string is matched by this pattern, since they all appear more than one time. Now in our second string, our exclamation point is not found in any of these options for what our pattern might match. So we only match the first 4, which is 0 through 3. For our third string, we see that we can either match A and B or A, B, and C because all of those are letters, but we cannot match this white space. So the first match that we come across is A and B. And lastly, for our fourth example, we have A, B, and C, all letters, and a comma, which we can also include as per our group, or our matching set, but we cannot match this white space character. The other match in this problem, in this example, I mean, is also 1, but not 2 and 3. But the 1 does appear 1 or more times. So both of these two are matches, however, we take the first match, which is A, B, C, and the comma. So 0, 3, 3. And that's all for this problem.